Thanks, Alistair. So my name is Liz Hoskin, and my company's called Positive Qualities. You're in for a wee treat this evening. We've got the 21 days to 31, but what I'll say first is, let me quickly tell you a story. Are you sitting comfortably? I will begin. So this story started 2004. Now this is just to give you a hint so it gets interest. This is about getting to America for free, okay? Just in case. So, 2004, I was on a telephone call, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was on a teleconference call, and I was supposed to be on a call to buy some real estate in Florida. And I did what I do because I'm too proud sometimes to take my specs off so I can see properly. I misdialed. And I dialed the wrong number. However, you will determine if this was the right number. So I got on the phone and I heard this American guy, and I'm a sucker for an American accent. I was talking about accents earlier on, yeah. So Charlie comes on the phone and says to me, "Good evening, Liz. Where are you phoning from? Because you've got the weirdest accent." And I said, well, as they all know, you have to say Edinburgh, because that's how they say it. And I said, well, I'm phoning from Scotland. Whereabouts? I said, Edinburgh. Oh, I know it well. Yeah, and I'm probably related to your auntie or something, because that's what normally happens. So I started chatting to Charlie, and Charlie said, "You're not on my list for this call." And I said, "I know, Charlie, but I'm kind of this believing person that if I've misdialed, your call must be better. What's your call about?" And he said, "Liz, it's all about books." So I thought, I quite like books. In fact, I have overflowing bookcases. I read all the time. So I thought, I'll stay on this call if that's okay. I went, of course you can. So I'm on the call and I practiced the formula. I was in a high state of expectancy. I had my mind open and I was listening. Because I wanted to learn, because this guy was a motivational speaker from the States, very well known, and I thought, I might learn something. So I'm on the call and he's telling me all this stuff. So at the end of the call he said, everyone from the call this evening will get 4 free books. And of course, being Scottish, 4 free books is actually really, really good. So I thought, oh, that's really a good thing to do. So straight away I decided I would stay up and just try and get the books. But when I went to buy the books, what happened was, every time I went to the checkout on his website, it was showing 8. And I'm going, well, you know, I don't like a gift horse in the mouth. However, he said I could only have 4. So I thought I better just find out from him if this would be okay. So I waited till he was up, because he went 8 hours behind me. Phoned him and said, "Charlie, see when I tried to get the books to go into the checkout to get them for free, it keeps giving me 8 instead of 4. And he says, "Liz, just have the 8 books." I thought, result, another opportunity. Then he said to me, "Liz, do you ever go to London?" And I went, "Yes, I go to London quite a lot." "Well, I'm coming over from America on the 23rd of November. Would you do me the honour of having afternoon tea with me?" And I thought, result number 2. I thought, yeah, I'll do that. So I said, right, fine, Charlie, I'll come to Hyde Park, 23rd of November. And he says, now remember, it's the Park Lane Hotel just off Hyde Park. So I thought, that's correct, that's fine. So I said to my husband, we're going down to meet Charlie. He went, "Who's Charlie? Do you know this man?" And I went, well, not really. However, he's given me 4 books for free, and he seemed like a really nice man. I think I'm going to go and meet him. So we duly got our flights, we went down to London, and I waited for 2 hours, and I kept going round asking, has anyone seen Charlie? And everyone in the hotel's going, "Are you Charlie? Liz is looking for Charlie." And everyone's trying to find Charlie for me. And after 2.5 hours, no Charlie. And I thought, damn, this formula doesn't work. However, when I got home, now just to let you understand, Charlie wasn't very well when I was on the call with him. Charlie had cancer of the spine and he had also lost an eye. And I was just a bit concerned, thinking maybe he didn't make the trip. You know, because that's what we do. We have to justify why we spent all that money to go down to London and not meet the person. So when I got back home, I thought, right, so he said to me he'd be there for the 23rd, but on the 25th he was flying home. So on the 26th, I phoned him, and I said, "Charlie, are you okay?" And he said, "Liz, are you okay? I was waiting at the hotel for you. Where were you?" And I went, "I was at the Park Lane Hotel at Hyde Park." He went, "Yeah, But I was in the Park Lane Hotel at Park Lane. My secretary gave me the wrong address. I was like, no! This is my opportunity struck. He said, see, because you did all that for me and came all the way down to London and you wasted all that time. I said, Charlie, no I didn't. I went round and bought lots of lovely things. It was really such a good trip. The next time you come to America, I'll put you up for a week in the Hilton Hotel. Really? Quite good. And I said, right, hang on a second, Charlie. Do you really mean this? That's the Scottish bit coming in. And he went, yeah, Liz, he says, totally. I would love to show you around and I'd love to let you have my library so you can read more books. And I thought, fantastic. But at the time, I did not have any intention of going to America. 2 weeks later, I got an email. And in the email it said, we would love you to come across to Florida and do a motivational speech at this big convention. And I thought, another belief piece. I think that's a sign that I should go and see Charlie. So I thought, well, that's fine. So I got my flight paid, I got all my accommodation paid, and then I thought, I'll go and visit Charlie. Now, I'm not very good at geography. Florida to Harrisburg was quite a bit distance, because he was away the other end of Pennsylvania. So I phoned up, booked my flights, and said to Charlie, hi Charlie, it's Liz. I'm coming over on the 6th of January. I can spend a week with you, and I'll have a couple of days at the end of my trip, and we'll see what happens. And he went, fantastic, I will see you there. So that was fine. So I was already booked, fine. So I went to my convention. The convention was, I'd forgotten that when I was at the convention and taking time to go and visit Charlie, I still had 2 days and I didn't have any accommodation. I hadn't thought about that. Sometimes we do this when you're full of expectancy because you're very excited. So what happened was, I decided I would just use the whole connection formula again and just sit at the table and say, can anybody help me? I need 2 days accommodation on the dates in January. And this woman said, oh my God, she said, I have a condominium, here's my keys, you can use it for 2 days. And I thought, really? That's amazing. And I said, but you don't know who I am. Oh no, she says, I saw your speech and I heard it and I loved it. So she says, you'll be fine, just leave the keys at the desk. So, fantastic. A bit of a result, yeah? So, I went to get the flight from Florida to Pennsylvania. I was just about to get on the flight and I went, oh, I wonder what Charlie looks like. Slightly impulsive. So I thought, oh, it's a tiny plane, someone on this flight will know. And in walked Caroline, and she came and sat beside me and I said, you know, this is a long shot, but you Americans are always asking us if we know your ancestors. So, do you know who Charlie is and what he looks like? And she went, oh my goodness, my boyfriend goes to his prayer meetings every morning. Yeah, he's a big Liz, when we land at the airport, I'll show you who he is. What she duly did. So I had the best week of my life. He took me around all the places. He knew Zig Ziglar, who's just passed sadly. But I had all Zig Ziglar's tapes from when he was just starting out. Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, all the names that I loved to read. Charlie knew every single one of them. And he had all these personal interviews he'd done. So I was like a kid in a sweetie shop. And it was really, really so good. So this connection formula is pretty damn good. Because I got everything completely free. And I said to him, look Charlie, I really owe you. And he went, no Liz, he said, I owe you. And I thought, what a fantastic way to be. Because he worked totally from the heart. So he practiced connection as well. And he said, you know, sometimes you just got to go out on a limb. So, are you ready?